Black Alpha Network. Home of Black excellence. Power to the people.
Another thing that everybody has to realize is we're to the stage where they're trying to make everybody black. See, I remember a time when didn't nobody want to be black, when nobody was trying to claim blackness at all. See, what they're trying to do is they want to make our reparations claim very murky, very unclear. This is why they're pushing the Pope and they're trying to do that Caribbean, New Orleans thing. And can we make this clear? All those Haitians that were going down to Louisiana, those were mostly white. Okay, those were those people that got ran up out of Haiti. All right, they're trying to make it look like it was a bunch of black people, again, to make things murky. The reason why you got the gingers popping up so they can get you with the $5 FBA. Now we're in the $5 FBA era. And let me tell you why that's a good thing. I'm gonna tell you why that's a good thing. Follow me now. The reason why that's a good thing, because that indicates to everybody how close we are to getting reparations. See, you wouldn't need a $5 FBA if they didn't think reparations was around the corner. See, when we were miles and miles and miles apart from reparations, all that $5 FBA stuff didn't really pop up. They just let it stay over there. Now that they know that these certifieds are getting way closer to the bag and these certifieds are getting way close to that money, they're in desperate mode. So they trying to say red hair is black, the Pope is black, you got a great half kind of mulatto black grandma, you can get it. They're trying to put themselves in position to get some of that reparations money. That's what it is. Problem for them is that they don't know that we out here delineating, separating, regulating. So it isn't going to work. But it also shows the confirmation and the indicators that the paper is on the table. And they're trying to stop it by any means. I always tell people there's two types of people when it comes to reparations. It's the people that want to stop your reparations and the people who want to steal your reparations. Those who want to steal your reparations is because they can't stop it. Those that want to stop it is because they can't steal it. So they both lose. That's what I'm saying, family. It don't matter. You can come in the back door, the front door, the attic, any way these people show up, nothing's working. Why you think they over there trying to bring the South Africans over? We whooping supremacy up so bad, family, they got to go get foreign recruits. They got to go get foreign recruits right now. That's what it is. Yeah, we could talk about those birth rates that are super low on the flow. Yep. But let me tell you something. If things was going real good and real swell for them, they wouldn't have to go to these levels. They got to go get recruits right now because foundational Black Americans are just winning that much. Family, we're on a winning streak. I'm just going to go ahead and put it clear to you. I'm going to make it plain like Brother Malcolm say. We're on a winning streak. I mean, we're winning so much that the dominant society are doing things they never fathomed they would have to do. All right. You never see nobody with red hair trying to be black. All right, now they want to do that because we win it. They got to fly in a bunch of people from South Africa. And remember, Joe Biden flew people in from the Ukraine. So let's not forget. So both sides of the political spectrum are participating in the same foreign recruits, the Mayo tethers. This is what you're going to start seeing now, the Mayo tether and the melanated tether. Those are the two people. See, the Democrats want to give you the melanated tether. That's who they want to go get you. And the Republicans, they want to go get you the Mayo tethers, but they're both tethers. And they're both coming over here with the designs on getting in on the capital that foundational Black Americans have created, not only with building, maintaining, and sustaining this country, but this bright future that looks like reparations will be on our table sponsored by us. So they really got to try to get in on it, even if they got to fly in some people from overseas. Again, spoiler, none of that stuff is going to work because we certified and we verified our lineage. And it is picture perfect attention to detail that they can't get around it. And since they can't get around it, y'all, they're going to come up with all these desperate things like fatigue and DEI and all those words. But words are just words. We brothers and sisters about action. And the lineage is about action. And we've been taking action. And our actions got everybody falling back as we proceed. Let's get to the rest of the hands in here.
Real quick, Brother Alpha.
Go ahead, brother.
My brother, they have to bring in some reinforcement because word on the streets, there's infighting going on in between the supremacists, man. And I posted a video a few days ago of nationalist group throwing hands with the Proud Boys. They snatching their mask off, demasking them, telling them to unmask, unmask. Like we was talking about in the last one, the closeted versus the open, and the open don't want the closeted around at this point in time. So I kind of feel like, yeah, they probably needed to import some of those, some more dwellers. But the truth of the matter is, if the Pope is Black, now I'll land with this real quick. If the Pope is Black, then Why don't he just go ahead and cut that Vatican check? Because the Vatican owes reparations too. You know, they sanctioned it. So we want to make sure if he's that black, if they want to claim that he's black, then go ahead and cut that Vatican check then. We need it on all fronts. Let's move forward.
Good point, brother. Damn good point. Damn good point. Shout out to the family in here. Anybody want to come up? Come on up, man. We in here rocking. We deep too. We deep right here, fam. It just turned 6 o'clock and we in here. All right, Tormel FTP, it's on you.
What's going on, Black Alpha? How's everything, man? Pleasure to hear from you, man. Finally.
Much respect, family.
All right. Listen, I was just on a space just a little while ago, right? And some FBA brothers, and they were co-hosting with some Irishmen. And I got into a big disagreement with them because they were allowing the Irishmen to sit there and lay claim to slavery as if, you know, they got just as much right to our reparations. Like you said, now everybody gonna come out the woodwork, $5 FBAs. Now, the Irishmen want to lay claim to, yeah, we were slaves too. We were slaves too. So I asked the Irish co-host, I said, listen, if you were slaves with foundational Black Americans, then it's simple, a simple question. When was your emancipation date? Because if you were a slave, you couldn't have unslaved yourself. You had to have an emancipation date. And you had to have a price in which you were sold. You were sold, your wife was sold, your children were sold. You know, the Irishmen couldn't answer that question. So these FBAs started to take up for him. Hold on, brother, you know, So it's like now the coonery is to a whole nother level when you're doing spaces with Irishmen and you're trying to allow them to lay claim to our reparations. My thing is, for these Black people, I think they should, you know, if they really are against reparations, if you're truly against reparations and you're stopping our progress and you want to stop us from getting, I'm talking about FBAs, you want to stop us from getting what we rightfully deserve, I think it's time that you guys sign a waiver to acknowledge that you don't want reparations and that should be donated to the government or something like that. I just wanted to know what your thoughts on that is. But a lot of these coons, man, they need to sign a waiver if they really don't want reparations and let it be known before the check come, because right now they could stop us and still receive the payments, even though they were against us the whole while. So they're in a win-win situation. And I'll land with that.
Say, hold on, brother. Stay on this. Stay on the page for me, brother. Don't drop all the way, fam. You mean to tell me? Let me get this right. They was FBA folks, or alleged FBA folks.
I was about to ask that.
There with, you already know. And we got some demos, some domestic ops. They were up there with Irish, and they were basically doing the Negro escorting the Irish into our table.
It was bad, man. You know, because I asked the Irish brother, I asked the Irish guy a question. I said, listen, if you were slaves with us, when were you emancipated? Ours, 1863, January 1st. When was your emancipation date? Oh, he trying to go to the Constitution. He couldn't answer the question. So when he started stumbling, these brothers jumped on. They kicked me off the space. Brother, don't you come in here disrespect. Oh, they wilded out on me. These FBA brothers, they blacked out because he couldn't answer the question.
Damn. I done heard it all. Okay, so in 1 week, they're now saying that redhead people are Black and Irish were slaves and deserve reparations. See, what they're trying to do, they're trying to invite people to the Reparations Cookout. That's what they're trying to do right now, because there's a lot of Negroes that just cannot exist without white people. It doesn't matter what we do. Anything we do, they need a person. We're going to go out to a concert. Oh, let me call Brad. Okay, we're going to go out to eat. Oh, hold on now. Let me get Becky on the phone. We're going to go get our reparations money. Wait a minute. I got to go get Spencer. You know what I'm saying? This is what they try to do. So we are watching all of these people. And I'm glad you pointed that out, brother. And I'm going to record this. It's going to be posted. So by the time this is done on the Black Alpha Network, everybody subscribe. It's going to have probably about 10, 15,000 people, because this needs to be heard. Because the Reparations Cookout is not going to happen. It's just not going to go down that way. Because if you allow one person to come to our reparations panels, you're going to have people coming to that reparations bank. When you allow somebody to come to your reparations bank, they're going to get your reparations money. We already had Kamala Harris trying to play games with the Freedmen Bank, and she was a Freedmen's Bureau, and she was trying to add and include all these other individuals out there. So I'm glad you pointed that out, brother, because this all ties into these people. Now everybody want to be Black. What my man Paul Mooney say? Shout out to Paul Mooney, rest in peace. Everybody want to be a but don't nobody want to be a well, a hell of a lot of them want to be a now, because they see them FBA and IGGAs is about to get some money. So now everybody want to pull up. These $5 FBAs out of control. And I believe everybody, you're going to see more and more and more. And by the way, Stephen Miller, whatever his name is, the guy with the Donald Trump administration, he started throwing around reparations for Americans about immigration. I'm gonna tell you what he was meaning by that. It sounds very confusing. Let me go ahead and highlight it. He was saying that people have spent so much money feeding and putting these migrants in luxury hotels. There should be some type of compensation for the U.S. taxpayer. That is a means, family, for them to undercut our reparations claim. And they'll say something along the lines of, well, we kind of gave y'all money, this tax plan for the reparations immigration paper that deserves to go to all taxpayer citizens. Now, we got to watch that type of lingo. So they're going to try to make things murky. I was just telling my wife earlier today, I said, when the dominant society cannot beat you, they always try to confuse you. They always try to confuse you. Look at the Diddy case, okay? I ain't gonna get all in the Diddy case, but look at the Diddy case, right? The man is out here being charged with something that they're not even talking about on the stand. The man got a RICO charge and ain't nobody even out there. And then now they're starting to say all these things. Well, could be, would, should, but none of that has anything to do with what we're doing. And it goes back to our reparations claim. Nothing that they're saying makes any sense. And it's not even what the key point is. They're trying to make this very murky and confusing. And once they start doing that, you already know the hustle is in. The con game is coming. So they're going to start trying to say, well, this person's black, that person, the Irish person. And watch for all these Negro escorts. The escort is the black person that escorts an outsider into the community, and typically the escort is followed by the Negro bodyguard. And once they escort them in, they start bodyguarding them. That's what they're trying to do. That's how they're trying to come with it. And we got to regulate all of that, because remember, fam, they don't know how to bring in one op. You let in one op in your house, family, then the whole goddamn neighborhood's gonna be here. And if everybody can be FBA, then there would be no FBA. What makes us great families is that we're exclusive. We're exclusive, and there's just the right amount of us. If you start running around here and there's 500 billion FBAs, the next thing you know, we all gonna get 1 penny of reparations. I want the whole goddamn bag. Church, it's on you, family, and then we can spin it around. And if you got anything else to say about that, FTP, it's on you too, brother, because that was a good point. I'm glad you brought that to the stage.
Yeah, I kind of want to answer his question real quick, because I want to we've been talking about this concept of having people sign a waiver, but I want to really create a fund, right? To where if you don't want reparations and it's owed to you, cool. Yes, sign this waiver and it goes to that fund. But then that fund can go to funding more FBA businesses or funding FBA schools and things like that. So that is a great thing to do right there. That's absolutely something that I'm with. Another thing, with the Irish, ask them, if you were a slave, then why were you paid freedom dues? Why were you given land? Why were you able to purchase slaves at some point? So these folks, you can't shoehorn people in if you have that information, right? We got to hit them with the history. Just don't let people talk nonsense to you, okay? You make sure you checking all of them. And those two coons that was sitting up there trying to give away the lineage, I would have to ask where they're people from, because I'm gonna be 100 with you. I don't believe no FBA was sitting there trying to give away the goddamn lineage to a goddamn Irishman. I would have to say that was a tether. I feel it in my bones. If Alpha had the dang tether alarm, I would tell him to ring it, because I seriously feel it in my bones that those two were tethers. There's no reason for anybody, literally everybody that I didn't heard speaking about this that is FBA has either two ways of putting it. When they first heard it, they thought it was satire. They thought it was a joke, but they saw that people getting serious, and then they had to go and check people. And then the other is people immediately checking people. So I've not yet seen an FBA who wasn't saying, hey, this is disrespectful, take this stuff down. And all the people who keep on trying to hand out invites to the cookout. See, I say this all the time. The cookout is canceled. The cookout is canceled. There is no cookout, so there's no invites to give out. Right now, we're having family dinners. And only family is involved here. So we don't need a homie from down the street. We don't need the homeboy, the homegirl, the like family, none of that. It's all family. If you ain't a part of this lineage, you are not invited to this dinner. This is an exclusive dinner. This dinner was prepared for us alone. And when it comes down to our reparation, that's exactly what that is too. That's prepared for us alone. That came from our hard work and our background for our ancestors. So when we talk about the stolen labor that even gave you the opportunity to come here because of the wealth was built and compounded over time, you need to have a goddamn seat outside. You can watch us have dinner, though. You're going to be looking in from a window, though, while we're sitting inside having dinner. The cookout is over with. The cookout is done. Don't print up no more flyers because I'm taking them down. Let's move forward to Twizzle, family.
What's happening? What's happening? What's up, Black Alpha? What's up with the church? What's up with everybody, man? How y'all doing on this good day, man? You understand me? But yeah, shout out to the room. I see you down there, Shantae. Yeah, y'all spoke on some very interesting points, and I want to piggyback on a lot of y'all talking points because we all on the same page. And what y'all was saying lately about, last night, or I should say, ever since that Carmelo Anthony incident is showing themselves lately, there's a lot of people that's scared and a lot of people that's cowering. And it tripped me out on how they're saying we need to team up and link up with people. They always try to come in and use that word ghetto. You know what I'm saying? And they always try to say, well, black people just ghetto, ghetto, ghetto. But we just have to break it down to a clerical in the definition term. The word ghetto is European. We all know when he went through Europe, look, where did he go? He went through the ghettos of Europe. Ghetto, because last I looked, black people never came from no ghetto. We came from cities that we built. And then with the Irish, you know what I'm saying? I know then what I was saying with that, because we got some scary people on here. We need to link up with the supremacists on this immigration thing. But I'm like, y'all fail to realize y'all forgetting y'all history. And even if we do work together on this immigration thing, they're going to try their best to cross us and include us. So anybody that's saying that we need to team up and work with people, I think you need your head question, and I think you need to sit back in the listener section because you are not focused on reality right now. These people are still, no matter what, here, these people in America are like damn near third class, but yet they still worried about us. You know what I'm saying? So we really need to just like anybody that's on that page talking about we need to team up. I think y'all need to go over there. And with the Irish, they are just like the Scottish. They trying to ride that freedman coattail, because they were indentured servants, and once they worked their way out of slavery, that's when they so-called themselves becoming freedmen. So that's why they trying to jump on the reparations bandwagon as they were so-called freedmen because they worked themselves out of slavery. But we all know the Irish, y'all have a homeland that fought for y'all, and y'all copied our civil rights movement, and y'all had your own Irish movement over there. Because when I did my research, I looked at Irish. You thought it was the black civil rights march at Pedding's Bridge. They walking down the street with signs screaming, "We shall overcome." I'm like, come on now, So you can't say you black. Now you can say you copied off black, and I will give you credit for that. But the Irish never at once ever considered themselves black. And if they have a slavery claim, they need to get with Great Britain. It was the King of England, that great potato family, when he had his soldiers sow the dirt in the middle of the night, and that's how come almost every last potato in the land came up, and that's why they had to come over here. So the Irish, they have their claim with Great Britain. They don't have no claim over here, and they can't ride our reparations coattail because in our reparations fight, we have a lot of amendments in there, like a black hate crime bill, the overturnment of the 13th Amendment, a child protection act, so they can quit taking our kids. We have a lot of stuff in there that we fighting for. And the only thing they fighting for is what they want is more money for more cabbage and potatoes. You know what I'm saying? So hey, shout out to the room, man, and shout out to the brother Tormel, man, because you was on with that. And I just want to piggyback on what you were saying because you got these Irish and these Scottish who were indentured servitudes when the king kicked them out of Ireland and in the Highlands of Scotland. When he kicked them out and they put them over here, they had to work for their freedom. So now they want to say they're freedmen, but they are not. They are not like us, and they are not the same. I land my plane there, y'all.
Hey, real quick, church. That brother just roasted right now. That brother went in, family. I hope everybody heard that right there. He took it down all the way through the line, and he left them no wiggle room. Shout out to you for that one, family. Go ahead, church.
No, he made a very good point, especially with the Scots kicking them out and all this other stuff. But then you got to also think about their history in it, because we know the originals were black. You get what I'm saying? And they went to war with them folks. That's what they made that whole damn Highlander movie. The Highlanders versus the Lowlanders, which were the black Scots. And they They didn't like the black folks then. You dig what I'm saying? So no, you can't be black now. There's no way in the world. Keep that to yourself. But go ahead, family. My bad. I just wanted to add that in.
Cooking. Hey, we need all that. We need everybody talking that because absolutely, we got to close every door, y'all. Every door. My brother Twizzle shut that damn front door. Church, I need you to get the back door. I need somebody to get the windows, the attic, the basement, because they coming. These $5 FBAs out here. And like we said, ain't nobody coming to the Reparations Cookout. None. They're going to hit you with the Irish and the Scottish. All of these people that are always practicing anti-black racism, whether domestic or abroad, now everybody wants to get in on our reparations. I told everybody previously, for those who just got here, this is the good thing. And it's a good thing because it's letting everybody know that reparations is coming. They're just trying to get in order. Now, they can get in order all they goddamn want to. They ain't getting a penny. But it lets you know that the world is saying these FBAs ain't stopping. See, there was a time where they thought we'd be tired by now. They thought FBA would give up. See, they thought that the foundational Black American certified grassroots movement was going to be the same as the Boule Black Lives Matter movement. Black Lives Matter wanted to go out there and twerk for justice. They wanted to go out there and have all of these fake, fraudulent activists trying to muddy the game, throw salt in the game, and give the game a black eye. They came and they went. They had about 2 summers. They got Joe Biden and Kamala Harris elected. We ran their asses out the paint. They thought that this FBA movement was going to be like that. What they're coming to find out is that you had a battery in their back. You control them. They were brought to you by the Democrats, the dominant society. Nobody is sponsoring us but us. That's the problem. This is why they always pop up in the spaces and they start saying things like, well, who's giving you money, man? Who's funding you? Nobody. We are funding ourselves. Every single thing we do is foundational Black American. That's why I say it's certified. It's certified as much as you can possibly be. And it's changing the game and it's changing the world. So they got to bring in these recruits. They got to bring people in from every different area so they can try to get some control. See, when America can control the Black community, the dominant society is winning. When they cannot control the Black community, the dominant society is losing. FBA winning, they're done right now. Everybody is openly admitting that they're tired. They're hurt. They're upset. They shook. They're triggered. They don't have no type of game plan. We done took all of that and we got rid of it. And that's the reason why we are exceptional to the degree in which we are in this generation is because we put boundaries around this whole lineage. You can't come in. You can't find a way in. You can't come up with your homeboy's homeboy. See, it used to be back in the day. Ain't it funny, y'all? It used to be, well, I have a Black friend. Remember that? Well, I'm not racist. I have a Black friend. Now you're getting a bunch of these COONs and they're saying, I have an Irish friend and he likes all that rap music, so he should come on over tonight. And we're telling everybody the person who came into the community, who is an outsider, can't come in, and the insider who tried to bring in the outsider, his ass can leave too. And I'm with what our brother said. In terms of a waiver, you can sign your reparations off. If reparations is something you feel that Irish people can come and get, then you can't have none of our FBA. If you feel gingers can get it, you can't have none of our FBA. Anybody who has anything other than devotion to reparations, cash payments, should not be allowed to accept them, because what they want to do is have us do all the work. They do all the complaining, all the griping, and when they finally realize they can't stop this FBA train, they want to slide in and get a couple bucks. It does not work that way. Never have, never will. Let's keep the hands rolling. Let's keep the hands going.
You know, I'm gonna be honest with you. I prefer that old school racism too. I need to know who's on my team and who ain't. I need to know who got my back and who don't. You dig me? I don't care about none of this niceness, this buddy cop stuff, because these folks, they use niceness as a weapon. And they think that it gets into your psychological mind, right? To feel special so that you'll do what they say. But when they see that niceness ain't working, what do? They go right to the straight hardcore bigotry and they show you their true colors. I don't want to wait. I really just want to get to it. So just let me know who you are so I can know who you are. Damn all that other stuff. We absolutely don't need no magical Negroes whatsoever. I'm going to be 100 with you. And like I said, I ain't the first person to say, give me that old fashioned racism. Like my sister said, I'm be honest with you. Wasn't it Malcolm X saying, I'd rather know who my enemy is than not? Yeah. So, yeah, we're not going to play no games. Just go ahead. Let me know off Bert so I can go ahead and drill a couple of things, nail a couple of things, might have to dig a couple of things. I need to know where I am. You know what I'm saying? Some things might have to be built. You know what I mean? Paul, it's on you, family.
Yeah, I love that message, man. But that was beautiful. And I'm going to take it a step further. Let's make them second-class citizens and denounce their blackness. You feel me? It's on our homeland. If they sign over that reparations check, therefore you are null and void to the black community and you have no input, say-so, or support. You know what I'm saying? Let's take it all the way there with them. Because like I said, when we left the plantation, they threw these with us, but only the real ones got away. So this is history repeating itself now. And I salute all the brothers out there on the front lines, That's some real work. But, if I ain't there in presence, I'm there in pocket. I ain't giving lip service, I'm giving tip service. You know what I'm saying? So, we have to continue this fight and make sure it is a fight that we finish because I feel like this generation will not leave it to the kids. We are not the ones who are going to misdirect the troops like our brother Martin Luther King did and found out at the end when it was too late. I'd rather take the Malcolm approach. I want to see the fox and the wolves and the snakes in the grass. I want to see all that up front. But, because you never know, you know what I'm saying? Something needs to be hammered. So with that being said, these people are after our women and children because they are not going to attack the soldiers first. They're going to make sure we cannot move. With that being said, my sisters, please protect yourself. It is important for you to know how to protect yourself, and it's important for you to keep a power tool as well. Keep a flashlight. Put some light on something. But with that being said, love, peace, reparations, delineation, deportations. Brother Alpha, I have another one for you. But I'll land on that, and I love my black people. Love, peace, reparations, delineation, and deportations.
Certified salute, family. Certified salute. Now, you got my damn smoke detector going off. I guess we got a whole fire drill up in here in this space tonight.
Bruh, beeping in the background.
Hey, it's crazy because we get to tell Roland Martin going to be on both of them. I'll be damned. Damn shame in the world today.
Man, I don't like that FBA. Tariq and Sheed and all them fools, crazy fools. You know what I'm saying? Reparations. Y'all didn't put Kamala in our crazy fools.
He don't like reparations, but he love Applebee's.
I said, I know this. Red Lobster with Joe Biden.
That man said Red Lobster with Joe Biden. Hey, this is what we on, family, and everybody in the space understands right now. Like my brother just said, we in the self-defense era now. We real about self-defense. Because remember, self-defense used to be something about 5, 6 of us be on. But the majority of black folks be running around here with their head in the clouds. Now you starting to really see brothers and sisters standing on self-defense business. If nobody believes us, let's just go right on up to Cincinnati, Ohio. Okay. Rodney Hinton Jr. Okay. Carmelo Anthony. This is something I always tell people. And let me tell y'all right now. This is the power of having a lineage and a generation that's on code. Listen to what I'm going to tell you. This is going to be the realest thing you heard all damn day long. Remember this. Trayvon Martin would be Carmelo Anthony if Trayvon Martin lived in the generation that Carmelo Anthony lives in. Remember that, family. Trust me when I tell you that. There would be no Trayvon Martin in this era. Trayvon was 17, Carmelo Anthony 17. You seen what Carmelo Anthony did because he had the luxury of a generation and an era that's on business, on code. We teaching everybody. Action teaches everybody. Action speak louder than words, right? So when the kids see us standing on reparations business, they see us delineating, they're getting the message. Whether you sit your child down and you talk to them and you speak to them directly about it, or they just watch the way that things go. Let's be real, family. The average young brother or sister out here in the streets, they relate more to a black alpha, to a Tariq Nasheed than they ever do to a Roland Martin. Those people, Roland Martin and them, we ruin their careers. They're non-existent. Nobody knows these people at all. The youth don't follow them. The Jesse Jacksons and the Al Sharptons, don't nobody know these people, but they know the Certified Black Society, New Black Media. They know all of us. They know everybody in this space. Everybody has a platform now. Everybody. So we have been able to amplify our message to the maximum, to where all of us can push the real game and everybody can do their own journalistic reporting. There's so many DMs I get every single day about things going on right right now. Our brother just informed us about some of these non-FBA, skeptical wannabe FBAs in there with spaces with Irishmen. This is something we wouldn't have known a long time ago until these people popped up at our damn hearings. Now we see these people coming from a mile away and they can't stop us. All the momentum is on our side. But when you add that self-defense element, see, that's what's really changing everything. What we did to the Democrats politically, that's sent a message to the Republicans politically and everybody politically. And what you've seen Carmelo Anthony and Rodney Hinton Jr. do, that sent a message to the world. If you notice, fam, everything got set off right after that, right in time for the summer. And we know it's going to be a Black America summer. It always is. It's going to be a hot one, a real long one. We're going to win every single step of the way. But when you add that self-defense element, when brothers and sisters ain't playing, it gets really real. You can really take it back to the Bama Brawl. That was kind of like the first go around, right, with brothers and sisters. Then you can fast forward that to Carmelo Anthony. You can fast forward that up to Cincinnati, Ohio. You see people up there having community centers. You got brothers and sisters getting together, patrolling the block. That is what's taken this generation to another level. That was like the last element we needed. It's good to be politically on point. It's good to be socially on point. But there's nothing better than having your self-defense. Like Brother Malcolm X said, self-defense ain't about morality. Self-defense is about intelligence. So you can be the best person in the world when it comes to politics. You can break it down to a T. You can run it backwards. If you don't know how to protect yourself, you ain't doing nothing at all. Shout out to the great Afeni Shakur. She said, always remember, take care of yourself. That's the most important thing. Because if you don't protect yourself, you can't take care of your kids. You can't be a wife to your husband. You can't be a husband to your wife. You got to be there to be there. And self-defense is the only thing that's going to get you through there. And brothers and sisters have added that to the political game, to delineation. Somebody told me a few days ago, man, we got about 5 or 6 movements in one right now. And Black folks used to have one at a time. And those ones would be like 20, 30-year gaps. We done got all of these movements in a small amount of time, and they're all moving 100 miles an hour. It's a great day to be FBA. Shout out to the family. All right, Brother Church, and then we'll get to political. And anybody else want to come up, run up, let's keep it going. The momentum is strong.
Yeah, family, I want to give a salute to the brother because he said something that just hit me hard. I used to tell people that, you know, said there's a lot of dumb stuff getting put out on the internet and all this other stuff, family. And people always ask that question of like, well, how do we get to this era where, you know, so many people are talking and don't know nothing? And it's just a bunch of people spreading a bunch of dumb stuff. And I'm like, you forgot that, you know, back in the day, the kids who rode the yellow bus and rode those helmets, had those helmets on their heads and stuff like that. You know, those kids was released into the public. Nobody ever told us who they were. You dig what I'm saying? So we don't know who any of these people are. And you wonder why it's so easy to go viral off of dumb stuff and shenanigans. It's kind of the same thing that our brother said when we were emancipated. The fact of the matter is, it's not a lot of us that were on the still the real ones were free, all into the population of the freedmen who had fought their way out of slavery. So when he asks, should we, he didn't ask, he said we should, and I agree with him, we should have a clause in the waiver to nullify their lineage completely, because we already know they don't want to be Black Americans. They would rather be whatever they want to be. So why don't we'll just help them out with that? They can sign that waiver. They can give away their reparations. Check the box that says they want to nullify their lineage, where they can go ahead and write in their new lineage. You know, they can be Mayo American, be Mexican American. You can be whatever you want, because you seriously must not love being the Black Americans you are. But let's go ahead and get to our brother Political Hood.
Yeah, sir, my fault. I apologize. I just had to hit the mic. Shout out to Black Alpha. Shout out to church and the family. That waiver with reparations, man, that's a great idea. I like that. You get to start putting these individuals on the record, knowing where they stand at, and then be able to use that currency, per se, to take care of the family. But I got a question that I would like to ask the host and the co-host. I happen to be just going on GPT and just doing some research, and what came to me is I researched into Abraham Lincoln and the situation with the 40 acres and a mule, and it comes to be an executive order. Then I see Andrew Johnson removed it as an executive order. He didn't go through Congress or none of that. So I asked ChatGPT, theoretically speaking, can we go directly to the president, being that it was a president that used an executive order to take away the 40 acres and a mule? ChatGPT said theoretically, yes. So being that we technically don't need Congress, and we see Congress, like right now, you got Sarah Lee talking about, oh, I want to put up reparations. Now, we all know that's nothing but to run around and trying to get us back to the plantation. So what I'm saying is, forget the Democrats, forget the Republicans. What about going straight to the president?
That's a fantastic question. And I'm going to be honest with you. These people can do whatever the hell they want to do. Let's be very clear about this. The president has all power to go ahead and sign another executive order restoring the land from the 40 acres and the mule. He absolutely could. The problem is no president has had the balls to do so, or they just didn't want to do it. I'm reaching for the latter, because if you really want to do something, let me put it like this. If I'm running for president right now, I have the presidency and I really want to impact Black Americans, foundational Black Americans largely, right? First thing I would do, I would reinstate the Freedmen Bank. Period, point and blank. Then I fund it, because a president can just sign an executive order and fund something, especially if they have private and public partners. A lot of the times, what they'll tell you is when they're doing stuff for other people, they won't say that it's coming from the government. They'll say, oh, we'll have some participation, but most of the funding is coming from private partners and things like that. They can fund the Freedmen Bank exactly the same way. And then if he wanted to, he can do land grants tomorrow. He can sign an executive order saying that they will be participating in giving freedmen 50 acres per wherever, right? He could do that tomorrow. So they can do whatever they want. Now, if the next president comes in and he ain't on code, he can undo everything that the last president did. And that's where the situation is kind of messed up. So when people say it got to go through Congress, I don't agree with that, but I understand why they're saying that, because if it goes through Congress, then if the president comes in and he don't like Black people having the land and reparations and stuff, then he got to go through a court battle because Congress passed that. So he can't just veto it, like, you know what I'm saying, if he was already in office. You get what I'm saying? So
yeah, basically like what Trump did with Obama, nuclear deal with Iran,
right.
Basically.
Or like how Biden came in and undid everything Trump did on the border. That led to what led to the people, you know, storming the invasions, you know. So these presidents literally, and that's the problem with an executive order can be written off within 4 years if it's a different president, or if the president has a different viewpoint of things. Now, I say there are other ways to put funding into foundational Black America immediately, to where it wouldn't matter what happens if the next president come in or not, but that president will have to be moving within the first 4 years, doing everything that he can, like bringing back the Freedmen Bank, like putting together a specific committee that give out land grants to foundational Black Americans, talking to the Treasury about putting money into the pockets of more Black businesses, you know, and he won't even have to call it reparations. You get what I'm saying? He could just say these are policies to help our most vulnerable in the country, the people who built this country. They deserve to have these things. And that was the whole thing with affirmative action and all these other things. Those things were meant to do those things. Well, not really do those things, but, you know, do those things got co-opted by other people who didn't have it in its proper form. They said, no, we're going to use it for this. We're going to call women minorities, and we're going to get black women to help us do that. And once that happened, then they took everything from black women and took it and gave it to white women, you know. So there are many ways to skin a cat, and I'm gonna be 100 with you. But I think that the people who are claiming has to go through Congress, I'm looking for it on all ends. My reparations bill or a reparations bill, just like I want them to pass an anti-black hate crime bill, because those things, once they're passed through Congress, then there's checks and balances. If a president comes in after them, he can't just remove something that was passed by Congress. He would have to go to the courts, and then the courts would have to say yay or nay and all this other stuff. They have to look at the legality, constitutional situations on it. So that's the real problem with just having a president sign the executive order, because another president could just come in 4 years if he don't win 8 years, you dig me, and just cross out everything he did.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, because it make totally sense. Because soon as you made that statement, it clicked in, like you said, with the border crisis, how Trump came in and then Biden switched it up, the Obama and the Iran deal, and now he's trying to do a deal again. So yeah, all it would take is one person to come in and switch it right back up, and then we right back where we started at. So yeah, I totally agree with that, bro. I appreciate it. Salute.
Salute, family. Brother Alpha, you want to touch on that?
Yeah, most definitely. Y'all really cleared that up real good. And absolutely, we got to remember, as they can change things around with that executive order, they can start to add people in. Like you said, my brother Church, next thing you know, it'll turn into affirmative action. So say the next president comes in and he may not want to deal with the ridicule of getting rid of reparations, but then he'll start adding those Irish, he'll start adding those women and start saying that they were really oppressed people. And then next thing you know, reparations are turned into a murky thing. Because I believe, and this is truly what I believe, the dominant society has two things that they want. Number one is to stop reparations. But every single passing day is getting more and more clear to them that they cannot stop it, because we are a force politically and socially. But their number one goal is to stop reparations. The second goal, which is a consolation prize to them, is to give reparations, just not to us. So they can say, well, we tried it. We gave it out to a few people. Remember this for the whole family. They will create a bill to destroy a bill just to say they tried a bill. This is what they do. You've seen this going on out there in California. Shout out to Cali. I see my sister Nicey in here. She's been representing Cali real strong and holding it down. But y'all notice out there in California, this is what they're trying to do. They're trying to get to the point where they say, well, we tried, or we did it. It just went to everybody other than Black Americans. Because then when we call them out and we say, hold on now, y'all never passed reparations. They don't like the fact that we're saying y'all gave reparations to this group, to that group, to that group. That makes them look very, very hypocritical. They look like bigots. So what they want to do is say, okay, we gave reparations, but Black American descendants of slaves, they got 25% of them, and the rest went to the Irish and the Scottish. That's really what they want to do. So we have to also create an oversight committee. We talk about the Freedmen's Bank and the Freedmen's Bureau. We have to have an independent oversight committee. They have them all the time. These oversight committees that go to these multifaceted organizations, Initech, Microsoft, all those people who come through and they check your list and see if you've been practicing racism and what does your misogynistic policies look like. Those groups, 9 times out of 10, are not government-sponsored groups. Those are outside groups. We have to create an oversight committee, and we can do that amongst our goddamn selves, to where we go and we start to examine where that reparations money's going to, where it's being delivered to, what are the little incentives and clauses that they put in there, because they're going to try to do reparations, but it's going to be having 100 clauses in it that go to everybody other than us. Now, when we have an independent source, an independent oversight committee, we can walk and be like, no, nope, that ain't how it's supposed to be. Nope, not ain't nothing in here say nothing about no damn Scottish. Ain't say nothing about no red Indians. That is not what it is by law. So after reparations gets passed, then we create an oversight committee that watches it, that monitors it, and then we can see where the money is truly going, opposed to them just throwing that stuff around, because that's really what they want to do. This is what ended up hurting with affirmative action. We all know Dr. Claude Anderson said, I put all that stuff together and it wasn't meant to be implemented the way it has, because we didn't have no oversight committees that come in and check these people. You got oversight committees right now in the United States of America, and they go to all of these different organizations. They look at their books, they look at their paperwork, they see where they are, and then they give them grades. They'll give them grades and be like, nope, okay, you're failing here. All right. The FCC does that. They'll shut you down if you don't have a passing grade. We can come up with that with an oversight committee of certified foundational Black Americans that monitor, observe, and watch where the reparations money's going so they don't put in no trickery. Because y'all know from trying to get the reparations, they hit us with 100 tricks with having Nigerians pop up on the damn panels. By the way, y'all notice we got rid of that, right? When was the last time you seen a Jamaican, a Haitian, or an African on a reparations panel? We got rid of that one. Fast forward now, we got them folks gone. Rewind 3 years ago, they were everywhere, and we ran their asses out the paint. So once we get rid of all that, we start watching everything. That's a good oversight thing. And what we have to continue to do is push this reparations movement forward. The arguments and the debates about who deserves money, all that is done. We got rid of that. So I like the way you guys are talking about this subject because it's an advanced version of the reparations conversation opposed to just a stalemate where we want to argue with W's all damn day about who deserves the money. Damn that. We're moving it, we're evolving it, and we're going into a good space.
I want to, and in case you guys haven't done so yet, please hit my profile, and then right at the top is linked at the top, my petition for reparations. Section 2 of my petition is establishment of a reparations fund. Section C of that says the commission shall oversee, and that the commission in itself is what you're talking about. The commission shall oversee the disbursement of funds and implementation of the reparative policies outlined in this act. Now, the way that these people are chosen is the same way we choose this, we choose our so-called representative, the FBA. We get to vote in people that we believe should be sitting on those boards, and then they have to give an accountability, basically a report to show what is going on, who's been sent to, how many payments have gone out, things like that, and when more payments will go out. And so that's very important. I'm glad that you brought that up because that is something that is extremely important. It's one thing to get the reparations going, but it's another thing to make sure it's going to where it's supposed to go and people ain't getting shoehorned in. That was the whole problem with the Freedmen's Bank in the first place. We had white board members who was running the damn bank and was stealing from our people who was putting money into that bank, stealing millions upon millions, which would have equated to somewhere around billions, maybe trillions now. So it is very important to keep our eyes on whoever, once this is built and we elect, if they go with this plan and we elect whoever we elect, say we got Tariq and the brother Alpha or whoever else sitting on the board, then we'll know for certain we got the right people in. But other than that, we're going to have, more reports, and we're going to have to be on their tail. So I'm glad you brought that up, family.
I read an article in April of 2024, and it's going to happen, family. That's why I wanted to just keep everybody encouraged. 40% of Americans believe we deserve reparations. 32% believe we don't deserve reparations, and 28% believe they don't care either way. We work on that 28%, we'll have them by 2032. That's my opinion. Shout out to the family.
But family, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't care what anybody think. That's the thing. We got to stop caring about that statistic, because what they don't tell you about that Pew Research statistic, you can pull it up right now. I guarantee you, a lot of people ain't saying this part. It also states that 76% of the people that was polled believes that the government is responsible for repaying the Black community in some shape or form. So we're not going to sit here and play this game that, we got this percent, we got that percent. None of that matters, family. As long as we're doing what we're doing, it's going to happen no matter what these people think. And we need to let people know we don't care what people think so they can stop throwing out that BS statistic. They only throw up that statistic because they think we want to run around here being liked. We're not running around here trying to be liked. Politics is not about being liked. Politics is making sure that your people is getting what's owed to them. And we have the hugest debt ever in this country. This country owes the hugest debt to us. So our politics is all about bringing that debt home. Y'all going to pay what you owe. And we don't care if you like it, if you love it. If you do, okay, cool. If you don't, okay, cool. Either way, you're pushed to the side. We ain't here for none of that. What we're here to do is get what's owed to us and make sure the policies that we bring for our community benefits our community in every proper way. Everybody else, That ain't my business. That's not my problem. Y'all can hate over there. But while y'all hating over there, I'm over here working for these policies to get over here. I need that anti-black hate crime bill. I don't care what they think about it. That's what we need. That's what y'all going to have to put together. If not, then guess what? You're going to feel some more thunder. You're going to feel some more heat. And we can do this over and over and over again until y'all get the damn point.
Salute.
I'm gonna say it like this, family. I'm gonna say this, fam. I have yet in my life ever received any type of survey in the mail that asked me how I feel about them bringing over millions of illegals. And since I never received that survey, I don't care about how they feel about a reparation survey. They just brought over, what was that? South Africans have not received a survey about that at all. So I always tell people this. When it comes to reparations or it comes to any policy that directly affects foundational Black American brothers and sisters or children, that is not a personal problem for anybody else. That is a business deal for us. And if our business deals are personal to them, then they just gonna have to live with it and accept it. This is why we're moving so far, because we've taken that emotion to the side and we've put it over there on the curb, and we're pushing to the point where it's this what we want, this what they're going to give, this is what they're going to have to run. When Dr. Martin Luther King said we coming to get our check, he didn't say we're going to come to get our check and see how the country feels about it. And also remember this, in a system of anti-blackness, these survey numbers will always be against us, will always be swimming upstream in this system. You could say, should Black people live? Should they actually be able to exist and breathe? And half of the country is going to say no. I mean, this is the country that supported George Zimmerman. This is the country that supported Daniel Penny, Darren Wilson. I mean, they'll bump off unjustly a 5-year-old. And the majority of this country will put money on the books of the killer. So they have no credibility, clout, or any form of justice in terms of speaking about us. So therefore, we have no caring, no bearings, or no give a damn on how they feel about our money. Run that check, with all respect. Let's keep it going now, family. Let's send it to, let's see who we got in here. Sound Waves, is that what it is? Yeah, Sound Wave Surfer.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it. I've been patient. You guys are making some great points. And I'm glad that you guys were talking about what you were talking about, because I came through earlier and, dropped in, was listening, and I went back to YouTube. And then there was this channel called The Research Guy. I don't know if you guys ever heard of him. I don't know who he is. But, I clicked on his live, and it's a dude wearing a red hat. Like, the coincidence is crazy. He's wearing a red hat talking about stop begging for reparations. Da, 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 da. And I'm just like, why are you trying to, sabotage something that could be so beneficial to your people, And one thing I gotta let you know, I'm not even FBA. So I actually support reparations 100% because I think Black people or, Africans deserve it globally. So I'm not at all. So I'm just wondering, like, what's up with this guy? And then I just wrote a comment, like, I don't know how I subbed to this channel and I left and came right back here. And the fact that you guys got on this and you're talking about the oversight committee, I wanted to say, like, if there was a way that you guys could, like, make a list of whoever, like, because the way I'm looking at it, this guy has on a red hat. And as far as I know, the party for any Black foreigners is like the Democrats. They usually vote Democratic. So this guy has on a red hat. To me, that lets me know he's like Black American. Now, I can't say fully if he is, but that's what I suspect. So I'm thinking to myself, like, if somehow you guys got reparations, you should definitely have a list of who was against it or who was for it. But definitely document who was against it, because they should be like, if they get anything at all, they should be last on the list. I'm gonna end it with that.
I'm gonna be honest with you, family. The whole waiver, they wouldn't even be on the list. They waive their rights. If they don't need reparations, they won't get reparations. All that will go into a fund, and we'll use that to fund the Black American experience, family. We will rebuild, and we will go heavy.
Hey, Church.
Yes, family, go ahead. It's on you.
Hey, Church. I'm gonna just say something real quick,
family.
and I'm
Go
gonna
ahead.
get back to my girl. I'm gonna just say something real quick, and I'm gonna get back to my girl. She got dinner did up and everything. But I just want to give everybody, because this hit the street, so this is on grass. That whole ginger thing, they're coming out with it, swearing up and down that they're Black. And I know that this has been, FBA and in lineage with us. And I think that that's going to be the next step for them to try to come and shoehorn themselves into our reparations, because they tried everyone else. They've tried Black foreigners, they tried Hispanic foreigners, they tried women, and now this ginger thing. And I think that might be the last step, the last hee-haw, but I think they're going to try to run that game really long and hard. And I'd go with Black Alpha's philosophy. Don't play the long game with these fools, play the short game. We've already given the status quo a fatal blow. It's on his knees. All we got to do is go to the liberals or even the supremacist feeding sources. All of these outposts of, Black empowerment groups, whether it's in Cobra, NARC, NAACP, keep our feet on their neck and just starve these fools out. And with that, I land. Shalom to everybody. Peace out to Black Alpha and the church.
Shalom, family. Shalom. Man, I'm gonna be honest with you, family. You said all that and then dropped on us. That's cold. Cold beans, man. Cold beans. Fire as hell. All right. Who we got next, fam?
Straight smoke, family. Straight up smoke all the way across. Let me say this as well. We were talking about reparations earlier, and I think I speak for all my certified foundational Black Americans. We denounce any reparations bill that the Democrats are putting forward that is not stamped, signed, sealed, and delivered from us. If it does not have a foundational Black American overseer, someone who is affiliated, a part of the grassroots, not some COON from wherever the hell, not no tethercrat, all of these fake reparations plans that they try to come up with. Man, what do they do? Every other, 6 months, they come back with a new reparations plan. I'm losing track of them. They come up with it. They have some fake interview. They're talking about equality, all these inclusive terms that add everybody else in, and they don't represent us. If you're looking for foundational Black American reparations representation, it's everywhere. Brothers and sisters, where all these panels out here, and the Democrats just talk around it. Tariq Nasheed had 2 reparations rallies. I spoke at one of them, shut it down by the goddamn way, tore the roof off that damn thing. But at the end of the day, fam, you could have came there and there was plenty of foundational Black American brothers and sisters of all different ages from all 50 damn states who are thorough as hell when it comes to reparations. They don't ever talk to us about what we doing down here. They want to have these reparations bills that are completely separate from us. And that lets you know they're trying to undercut. That lets you know that they're trying to steal and take away what we're doing. Now we're in the stealing process because they realize they can't stop it. 2 people, one who wants to stop it, and then the person who wants to steal it. They were trying to stop reparations for the last 5 years. It done got through their head that they just can't do that. They just can't. They realize that FBA is too strong. Well, what's the next step when you can't stop something? You try to steal it from them. So this is why they're coming up with all these new plans. A new little reparations thing that they just put forward. I completely denounce it. It has no bearing on what foundational Black Americans are promoting, what foundational Black Americans have compiled, all the statistics and data and the representation of our lineage. It's just quite frankly not thorough. And at this point, we look suspectful at any democratic policy that's pushed forward. This cannot be the party that tells us they're not going to do something for us and then gives us a mysterious reparations bill. And then remember, the Democrats came out and openly stated that they don't support reparations. So wait a minute. A year ago, you put out an actual statement that you don't support reparations, and now you have a reparations bill. Not to mention the 2 or 3 other ones they had, or HR 40. They're just there as stall tactics to try to stall us or to try to divert our attention. Remember, y'all, it's always going to be miseducation, misrepresentation, and misleadership. And the Democrats do all 3 of those. So they can continue to put forward these reparations plans that are absolutely fraudulent to the maximum, and we have to let them know that we don't support none of them and just take that stuff back. Y'all remember during the election when Kamala Harris came out and she had that BS plan for Black men? And by the way, remember they said they can't do nothing specifically for us, and then she came out specifically and said she had a Black man plan. But when you looked at all the details that had nothing to do with Black men, okay, they're contradicting themselves, fam. And if you notice, they go where we go. So every time they say something, we check them. They try to come back with something different. And then we check that. Then they say, okay, here's my 3rd one. Here's my 4th attempt. Here's my 5th attempt. And see, back in the old days, Black folks would be on about the 100th attempt before they realized, man, maybe this person's lying. See, we didn't even let them get past the 1st attempt. We knew immediately that they was capping with every single thing they came forward. And remember out there in California, about a year ago, They purposely put forward a reparations plan that they destroyed. The damn Republican tried to pick up the bill. Now, I think he was playing chess, and I don't believe that he was serious about the reparations, but it's sad the fact that a Republican is picking up a reparations bill that the Democrats overtly tried to hide, and then they tried to put it forward, and people just realized that it wasn't true. Remember, they were laughing at brothers and sisters who were out there. Shout out to my people from California that were there. They were laughing. They was making jokes. They was like, ha, 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 ha. Okay, when brothers and sisters like, this is wrong, but brothers and sisters was on a bumper, and they had to go ahead and change it. So no, we denounce any reparations bill or package or fake policy that is put forth by the Democrats. They're going to have to meet with our intellectual class. Okay, these fake leaders and fake spokespeople that they always try to put in for foundational Black Americans, that's just not going to work anymore. That's just not going to work. And the best way you handle problems, families, with aggression. Black people weren't aggressive enough. Okay, we was far too passive. Passive is the best friend of a loser. Okay, you show me somebody who's extra passive, I'm gonna show you somebody who's always losing. And you ain't seen passive Black folks for the last 7 to 10 years now, because we're about 7 to 10 years in this reparations generation. So I've been seeing a lot of people have been DMing me and asking me, can I speak about that reparations thing that the Democrats try to put out there today? And I say thing because it damn sure isn't a real policy, a real law. It's just something that they could try to behoove us. The days of Black folks being hoodwinked or had or bamboozled, that's just not going to happen. And if it hasn't registered in someone's mind, that's all the Democrats keep doing. That's all they keep doing. Remember, they told us we can't have an anti-Black American hate crime law, but they can put forth a fake reparations plan. They tell us that we can't get resources. Hell, they tell us we can be deported. Matter of fact, who are the only people in the world saying that Black Americans can get deported? Donald Trump's not even saying that. Donald Trump right now is openly saying you cannot deport Black Americans. Donald Trump is openly saying Black Americans built America. But the Democrats are the only people on the planet Earth that are kicking this you can deport American citizens stuff, in particular us. Because remember, notice whenever they start talking about who can be deported, remember the Democrats aren't ever saying that to white people. They're never saying that to white Americans. They're always saying they're going to get y'all Black folks. Y'all Black folks going to get deported. They don't never say that to anybody from the dominant society. You need to go tell that to Ken or Karen or Chad or Brad. How about you go tell them that they can be deported? You're really talking to us because you're trying to scare us back to the plantation. The election was the crash out for the Democrats, and right now is the burnout for the Democrats. So they can take that reparations thing that they put forward, and they can quite frankly keep it. And we know they'll be back in 6 months with another one, and they can keep that too. And we can just, as I say, go to the end of this goddamn movie, and it is foundational Black Americans. We got our check, and the Democrats completely disappeared in the process until they step up and do something tangible for us. And the games and the trickery, quite frankly, isn't working. Brother Church, I'll let you elaborate on that because we haven't really talked about that BS bill, and I'm curious to hear how you feel about it, and then we'll get to everybody else and see how y'all want it. Anybody else want to come up, chop it up? Matter of fact, we'll get to FBA Stoic right after church. So anybody else have something to say on that? We broke down a lot of things, but this right here is something new that just popped up, and I want the family to go ahead and address it. So the Democrats, because I know they're listening, everywhere Black Alpha goes, every time I talk, they listen, and I know the Democrats are in the queue listening. So just to let you know, fuck the Democrats, and you can't get any FBA time or energy. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, family, I don't trust anything the dummy rats bring to us. That's why I say read every single bill that they drop. And the reason why is because they try to make it's what I call that news feed type stuff. They'll put Black American all in the title, but when you get into the crevice of it, it's all for illegals or some other group. The Democratic Party is on its last leg for a reason, and it's because they have failed to actually address the needs of their constituents, their number ones. And so when you was talking about oversight and all this other stuff, these are things that should be in these bills. Creating the Freedmen Fund should be in this bill. Like if it doesn't have any of that, then basically what you're doing is bringing me nonsense. You're bringing me trash. And what we're really seeing is people trying to see how far they can get, how far they can go with it. Oh, what will they accept? Maybe we could just give them just a little. We don't have to give them everything. Let's give them just a little and then make it seem like it's for them and it's really not. So when it comes to the Democratic Party, I always take whatever reparation bills they come up with. I do a stream on my lives just to make sure we can go comparison to comparison. Comparing whatever bill they come with versus my reparations bill. My reparations bill is thorough, 100% foolproof, foundational Black American reparation bill. These folks won't even adapt something like what I have, because it shows what they can do if they put their minds to it, right? But they don't want to. That's why they're pushing everything else and all these tactics in order to make us believe that they're on our side by pushing these false bills. All that's doing is driving a bigger and bigger wedge in between the black community, because we had one of the most comprehensive reparation bills right there in California besides my own. And in those bills, it was talking about giving out funding, creating a fund, and all of those Democrats literally had it shut down. And another thing about the Bill of Saley guy, the guy who was the Republican that was going to bring it to the table, not only did they block him from bringing it to the table, but when our sister Camilla Moore was working with him, they decided to get together and actually start putting together some bills for foundational Black Americans. All of a sudden, he gets a raise and then he's taken out of his position. You feel what I'm saying, family? So if these folks really wanted to do any of these things, the blueprints are set. The blueprint is not just set, but even the qualifications is set. Everything is done, but they want to keep going back into these nonsensical bills. They want to keep going back into these committees, and they think that we're going to stand for it. And like I said, the Democrats are losing for a reason, and they're going to continue to lose for a reason. But I'll land right there, family.
Straight smoke, family. FBA Stoic. Go ahead, family.
What's good? What's good, family? I just want to say I'm proud of the FBA family, because the movie Sinners proved that Hollywood is losing their power to influence us. If it's not us on the screen, we don't want to see it. If they ain't telling our story, we don't want to hear it. So Hollywood is kind of losing their power to influence, and the FBA family is the major reason why they losing that power, in my opinion. And I'm gonna go ahead on and land my plane with that.
Good point. Good point. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Go ahead, Capone.
Oh man, lovely point that brother made. Sinners, I'm about to go watch it again this weekend for the third time. Yeah. You know, we got to keep supporting our brothers. Shout out brother Hinton. And brother EJ, just make sure you're keeping up on your chair jitsu. You keep an Alabama slugger nearby, you know, the chair piece. You know, everybody got to make sure we keep our well equipped like the Matrix. You know what I'm saying? Because you never know how you got to handle a tether, you know, whatever have it. Because as you can see with the fade in the water, our brothers and sisters and our elders put in some serious work that really set the bar for the new generation, that we ain't having it. Now, let's not forget the old faithful, the old reliable, the belt. As you've seen in the stadiums, my brother put the belt to ass. Do not try to disrespect us. And I'll land on that. Love, peace, reparations, delineations, and deportations.
Y'all boys crazy. Go ahead. What is it? No cap. Go ahead.
Hey, thanks for having me. Hey, brother, you do a lot of good work, God's work. We appreciate you. Now, as a family, we have to draw a pattern to what's actually happening, even in the Hinton case. Okay, we wouldn't be having those kind of issues with law enforcement right now if the Biden administration had fulfilled their promise that they had made. That many of those promises were broken. And one of the aspects of that broken promise is the way police aggressiveness has picked up and has continued to affect us as a people. There's no accountability. When it comes to these officers that commit these 6-second shootings of unarmed kids, whether they are armed or not, just 6 seconds and you shooting somebody, then lying about it. And then when we
In the
look
back,
back
though,
into
brother, in the back.
Yeah, in the back. And then we're looking at their past and seeing that they have complaint after complaint after complaint. Okay? That should be in the forefront. They should be off the force. That's what that is. And I'll land my plane with that. Peace, love, and reparations to the family.
I'm going to be honest with you, family. We all know in that situation there's a problem, especially because, you know, they still haven't released the dude's name yet. Where you see that at? Literally, it's only with us. It's only with us. They're trying to hold and protect that man because, and my theory is, he's going to be proven to be in the wrong. Because from everybody's angle that I didn't seen and talked to, they said he had a pum pum. Nobody saw it. That's just it. And then they're deliberately, and I heard this from a friend earlier, that police officers can deliberately like blur their cameras or something like that. You know, there's a lot of weird stuff going on with the case. And I'm gonna be 100 with you, family. I truly believe that it's going to come out that dude was in the wrong and that what they said was true wasn't true at all.
What up, though? What up, though? I was at work earlier. Like I was saying, you know, the times have changed. You know, America, you know, it doesn't run if black folks have any type of power. I don't know how long y'all been following Dr. Claude Anderson or whatnot, and Amos Wilson and all, and Miss Wilson, and you know, the many other people who we grew up watching and stuff, because we were all in the Black Power movement and everything, talking that African bull mess, you know what I'm saying? But it got exposed once everybody started paying attention to the politics side of it, you know what I'm saying? Finding out that your state representative is Ghanaian or from Nigeria, you know? And I lived in Minneapolis for damn near 16, 17 years. So I watched the Somali community just sprout out of nowhere. Like, boop, they got rid of the blacks and boop, Somali. So we're starting to see now that even, I'm not going to say Trump, I'm going to use Trump as a word for all the folks who get it. Even Trump knows that if we're spending damn near $2 trillion a year annually with non-black businesses, there's only 50 million of us. And you multiply that 2.2 trillion for 20 years, and it's only 50 million of us. I mean, divide that 50 million to that 2.2 trillion times 20. You know what I'm saying? Even they know that we are economic power, and one spark can make us separate. Now, this reparation thing is giving us a acknowledgement of your wrongness and it never happened again, right? But separation from them on the fact that what they've done to us will be far worse. Because that means we're going to be extremely doggish to you. You know what I'm saying? This reparation is just a step back from y'all little world that y'all created in the last 500 years. That's why they're trying to go automate. You know what I'm saying? I'm being real with y'all. I work at a place where it's all dark and it's nothing but robots in it. From the front to the back, all we do is go in there and fix them and get them going. The clothes underneath is different, but it's all dark. And they about to go dark in a few years. That's why they're doing the AI stuff and the robot stuff so they can make their products. You know what I'm saying? So we right on time, and we at a point in our history, man. They really, you really untouchable. I played football and stuff, man, and I got kicked out of 3 different colleges. I wonder why. You know what I'm saying? So I've seen the country. Folks in Minnesota and Kansas don't act the same as the folks in Texas, but they still fight folks, though. You know what I'm saying? So we about to separate from them. You know what I'm saying? That's why Trump put the word segregation up there, because he knows we're going to separate it, because we already segregated. There's so many black communities out here flourishing, man. You know what I'm saying? So we good, man. Our kids graduating. You know what I'm saying? My son about to go to prom Wednesday. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, the kids out here, they're beautiful, man. These kids are beautiful, man. They're beautiful. Nobody say they too busy showing a street fight, but we just graduated 5,000 kids up. Got one high school, they sent 100 kids to Michigan and Michigan State. All 4.0. They don't talk about that, do they?
You know what, brother? You make a good point there, and I don't mean to cut you off. I'm gonna let you finish, but I'm done, bro. Go ahead. That definitely goes back to the whole topic of discussion up top. You know, the black fatigue situation. Here's the thing: a lot of these folks are getting in their algorithms what they go and look for. They don't go and look for anything that shows positivity within the black community. They look for the most denigrating videos that they can. And since they do that almost every single day, 9 times out of the 10 of their day is about what the algorithm feeds to them. So the algorithms feed to them exactly what they're looking for.
And you know the flip side of that? Let them keep on doing it because they don't notice some boys and girls coming. They don't see them coming. Keep on paying attention to that. Keep on watching me. But I got this book in the other hand, dummy. You know what I'm saying? So hypothetically, right? You honestly believe the stuff that, like Mark Carter was talking earlier, we have hundreds upon hundreds of times. I got pics, man, that go back damn near 100 years. You know what I'm saying? My granddaddy, daddy, and the mom and them. You know what I'm saying? I seen that. I'm like, hell no. They was on that black piece of paper with, you know, them old pictures. I'm like, oh my, you know, I'm still astounded by that stuff. So I already know, I know my cousins. Like, my family been in Detroit 100 years, right? So imagine today that happened. The mindset is not, back then they had the gun, they had the mindset. So we're gonna flip flop right on and keep on watching them, keep on showing that. You know what I'm saying? You know, like they show so much bad. Like I go to the Cincinnati Jazz Fest. I go with I'm 50, so I'm 49, so I hang out with the older crew. You know what I'm saying? The 65, 70-year-olds and stuff. So I already know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? I'm not into it. You know what I'm saying? I already know what's going on. So we got them though. We got them. You know, so let them keep on watching that. Joke on you, stupid. And guess what? You're not gonna touch our kids at all. So it's over for them. It's really over for them. Really over for them. Have the immigrants in there, half of them immigrants, it don't even matter anyway. We just got caught up in it. You know, that little window we had from the civil rights era all the way up to the 80s. We just got caught up in that little illusion of inclusion with the dope era. Because reparations was getting everybody focused.
Sister Miriam, it's on you, family.
Why, thank you, brother. No, we get passionate, but yeah. Indeed, family. We definitely have our gems and our lineage, always our babies, because they are our future. And unlike some of the elders who came before us, not all, as you go through each generation, you got your silent generation, you have your boomers generation, you have your generation X, your millennial and Z and Y. Gems in all of the above that I mentioned. And definitely let them keep on watching the foolery, because they never have paid attention to the excellence, only when they, steal. But believe you me, they are aware of it. They just refuse to glorify it. They're not gonna, just like Malcolm said, you'll be a fool to have your oppressor teach your children. And it's sort of like that. We don't expect them to put us in the best light. When you realize the mindset and the thing that you're dealing with, we definitely pay attention to all that. We have to be swift. We have to be strategic. We have to be elegant, bring back sophistication and having, that type of charisma that we possess, be it streetwise, be it book smart, be it just who you are, your surroundings, and be it the South, North, East, West, it doesn't matter. We're FBA. We are America in its totality, and we make that exist. Shout out to you, Sister Nikki. The God is in the building. Hey, beloved. A lot of family is present in the space. Boy, we'll be doing that FBA roll call that Brother Alpha does doing the podcast. But definitely, we have to be focused, because all type of atrocities are a continuing thing, not just what our ancestors suffered through with slavery, and then after slavery, the Reconstruction era on into the Jim Crow, on into the Civil Rights era, on into the summer of love, or whatever you want to say, the love era of the 70s into the 80s. Which was still family unity and everything else. And then around 84, 86 to be exact, they did another diabolical move. They shipped substance, into our communities to their diabolical agendas and plans to keep us down and distracted. But yet we made it through that. We've always thrived, survived, and thrived past no matter what they've thrown at us. And we're going to keep on building. We're going to keep on making sure that we have our own locked into place and in position to always be there for one another, to be each other confidant, to be each other, hold each other accountable, for, reliable. No one gets the scapegoat responsibility or accountability, number one, because if you love me, you would do all those things for me. Foundational Black American freedmen. We're indigenous to this landmass, so we're the only one who's unfunkwittable and undeportable, and we're going to get what's rightfully ours. And I'll yield my time. Thank you, brothers. Love
Shout
y'all,
out to you, my
beloved.
sister. Hey, shout out to you all day. You already know what it is, Miriam. Shout out to you all damn day. Yes, indeed. I co-sign everything our sister just said about us as a lineage, a heritage, sticking together. Fam, y'all got to remember, we don't walk the tightrope and ain't never slip. Ain't never slipping. These people can't even stand still, fam, without falling their face planting. And everybody's face planting. All right. FBA winning. Male fatigue is losing. Everybody's losing. Tether fatigue, FLIR fatigue, hairline fatigue. Everybody. Okay. And the reason why they're upset and they mad, y'all, is because they don't have nothing. They don't have nothing because they don't have nothing to stand for. The games and the trickery are done. And it's just nothing that anybody can do against foundational Black Americans. We are undeniable. We're unbeatable. We're undefeated. We're undisputed. Everything that foundational Black Americans say we gonna do, we go out and do it. We're people of action, brothers and sisters certified on code, and it's our damn time to shine. And this summer gonna be a great one. And y'all know me, I'm the #1 activist, so we gonna keep this thing pushing. Let's go through some of the new hands. I want to get some of the new speakers in here, okay? Let's push through this real fast. Okay, shout out Nikki, I see you, family. Shout out to the sister. Revenues, go ahead.
Hey, peace. I wanted to know, is there a reparation bill that the Republicans have put forward? And has Trump supported reparations yet?
I don't know of any reparations plan that the Republicans have pushed forward. And the reason why it's that way is because Black Americans for so long have voted for the Democratic Party blindly and gave them the vote. Quite frankly, if you're a Republican politician to do something for Black Americans in terms of something about reparations, there's no political gain in that. There's no political gain in that at all. So this is why a lot of brothers and sisters were voting for the couch, to send the message that we're open for business. And if you want to do business with foundational Black Americans, understand we are political free agents. Me, myself, personally, I went to go see Kamala 3 times last year. I seen her 3 times. The NAACP kicked us out, but that's a whole nother one. I seen Donald Trump. Went to Tim Walz. I seen them, and it was to spread the message that we are political free agents. We're political free agents. I believe in terms of the political atmosphere of America, but in particular Black Americans, if we allow these parties to understand that our vote can go in 3 ways, which can be left, it could be right, or it can be couch, then you'll start to see people from the Republican Party start to actually present things for us. And the reason why the Republicans haven't, quite frankly, because why politically would you put reparations on the table for a community that brags about voting? Goddamn, I got me a goddamn Amber Alert. I hope they find that baby. It's probably Jorge. They would have probably gave that baby away to the goddamn cartels. I'll be damned.
No,
Somebody
senor,
call
no, see, goddamn, I'm getting a damn Amber Alert too. No, senor.
You down the street from me, brother. That's why.
Yeah.
All them essays is running in the state of Georgia. Okay, from Savannah through Atlanta through Augusta. But goddamn, Jorge, it's gonna be a better day. But yes, brother. So to answer your question, no, Donald Trump. I've never seen any reparations plan that Donald Trump has put forth, or the Republicans. But what I do know is that they got Amber Alerts out here for Jorge, because Tom Homan done received a phone call, and ICE is gonna knock down some doors. And I'll take that above reparations plans from the Democrats.
Hey, I'm gonna be out. My bad. I'm gonna be out here snitching like Rico off bellies. You know, we got to make that call. We got to drop a dime on them essays, man. Need that $1,000, man.
So as of 2025, is only the Democrats that have put forward a reparation bill. So
I don't believe that they put forward a reparations bill. I
at
believe
all.
they put forth a reparations hustle and
Scam.
plan, and it's a scam all the way across the board. So I won't give them the credence of identifying or stating that that's a reparations bill. That's not a reparations bill. Reparations bill is the same way for everybody else. For instance, when they make laws for illegal immigrants, they don't include us. When they make ones for the Ukrainians, they don't include us. When they gave out reparations to all the different people out there, they didn't include us. I haven't received $1 for those people. So no, I won't give them the just of saying that they put forth a reparations bill. They put forth a fake reparations plan that is intended to scam Black Americans and to trick us to vote for them and to get us back on that plantation. So the language has to be precise, and that's not a reparations bill. That's not a
oh,
reparations bill. That's just
okay. Okay, so as of 2025, Trump has supported giving reparations to the January 6th rioters, but he hasn't speak.
I've never heard that. I've never heard him say that. Wait, you got to
And
give me some confirmation of that one. I've never heard reparations for the January 6th riots. Give me some sources, brother, before I acknowledge that one. Give me your sources.
The lady that in the White House, they have already given her family 35 million. So as of
That's not
20,
reparations. That's not
That's
reparations.
wrongful, not
Yeah, exactly.
reparations.
That's wrongful. That's a suit. That's a settlement. Hell,
oh,
I know people flipped at 7-Eleven and got a settlement. Did they get reparations? Or did they get reparations in a Slurpee for falling at 7-Eleven? Oh no, brother. No, 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 no. No. So give me a source of reparations, not a settlement. Give me a source. Like, look at everybody else that has received reparations, and then tell me an instance where Trump has given that to somebody, where it's by the charter of the name. Go ahead.
maybe I worded it wrong, but
Yeah, I think so, brother.
do you think Trump would support reparations in the coming future before his term is over, or you think that won't happen, or the Republican as a whole?
I think Donald Trump will do what any politician to do. They will take whatever benefits them politically. Whatever benefits them politically. Democrats are the party that do things that don't benefit them politically. Think about it. There's no form of benefit in on your number one voter block. That's literally the Democrats will make political before they do anything for Black Americans. I believe that we would go much further with Donald Trump or anybody in terms of reparations or any form of tangibles or policies, because they are there to do things that benefit them for their own political careers. But you do not get that by voting for a party blindly. You get that by an intellectual class that meets with these people as businessmen and women, in which we are. And when you're businessmen and women and you sit down at the table with these people and then you tell them what you want and then you tell them what they get in exchange. See, here's the thing. Politics is something that 5-year-olds know. I vote, you give me something in return. So I believe Donald Trump, if he received something in return, he would do some type of bidding for Black Americans. The Democrats have proven that even when we do something for them in terms of votes, they won't give us nothing in return at all. Now, let me ask you, brother, are you a Democrat? Because you sound like you highly support the Democrats.
Not at all. I don't support none of that.
Do you
Where
vote?
your family from?
Yeah, where's your family from, brother?
Jamaica.
Ah, brother.
there we
Are you a
go.
tether? Brother, are you a tether?
What's a tether?
A tether sounds like what you're doing right now. So think about what you're doing and then tell me, do you identify as a tether?
Nah, I identify as a Black man.
Okay, but here's the kicker, brother. You have tethers who come over here, and it seems like that you're trying to draw some type of wedge in Black American affairs politically in terms of what we're doing with our vote. It sounds like you're critiquing what we do. And I think that you're really low-key caping for the Democratic Party. That's what it sounded like, because your energy was shifted and leaned heavily towards the Democrats. And you were saying that Donald Trump gave reparations to a 7-Eleven slip and fall victim. I sound like someone who's speaking on behalf of the
Now
lineage.
I actually seen the title that said Black Fatigue, so I was interested on the talking point. So
I'm
that's
not
why.
talking about that part, brother. I'm talking about you saying that reparations was given to a settlement person. That's what I'm saying. And that sounds heavy tetherish.
No,
Do
why I say that because it seemed like Donald
believe that
Trump
Black
is.
Americans? I understand
Huh?
that. Do you believe that Black Americans should get reparations? Black Americans, like foundational Black Americans. Do you
Yeah,
believe that we should get
yeah, of
reparations?
course. Why wouldn't I
Okay.
support that?
Oh, why aren't you supporting it? Because I don't hear you advocating for it. I hear you more advocating for the Democratic Party. And this is why our sister asked.
Because that's the only party that I've seen put forward reparation bill. I haven't seen the Republicans or Donald Trump support
Well,
reparations
why
yet.
should our reparations even be a bother or a subject for you to even be discussing, brother?
Absolutely.
Is that
First and
what?
all, and I'm gonna use that word loosely. Why should our reparations be even a concern of yours? And then you're projecting, talking about the J6ers getting reparation. That's a lie. That's a premise talking point, because I do go on some of their pages just to see, for the fun of it, just to see what's up in their mentality.
I support Black Americans getting reparations, especially through
Yeah, I
slavery,
understand you say that.
sharecropping, redlining, and a host of Jim Crow and a host of other things. So I definitely support Black Americans getting reparation. But it seems like the only party that support reparation is the Democratic Party and
But
not the
they don't.
Republican.
If you really looked at and followed them, you will know that it's a smoke and mirrors. It's a whole smoke screen. They do not support it. They
Hey,
are the
can
party
I
that
ask him
is
something
against
at the
it.
mirror?
Yes, baby. They are the actual party that is against it. And then who is this show clan person down here? I seen a thumbs up. Did you send me a personal thumbs down? Don't start none, it won't be none. You must not know who
Oh,
present you
family.
in.
Family, I see the tethers have came into space, y'all. I'm starting to get a whole lot of requests. They want to come on up. Listen, okay, I'm going to let my brother EJ go. Miriam, bringing that fire, that smoke. But let me ask you something, because I still have to put it pretty clear to you, brother. And let me just straighten it up. It sounds like you don't know much at all about what's going on with reparations. So it'd be best that you just didn't really speak on it. That would be
I'm
best.
familiar with HR 40. I'm familiar with
That's not
Nkoba.
reparations. That's the
Oh
all
my
in
God.
At all.
There it is. There it is.
my
Oh
point.
my God.
That's my point right there, brother. That confirms that you really don't know about it. So what you should do is not concern yourself with reparations for foundational Black Americans, the same way we don't concern ourselves with what goes on in Jamaica. So everybody should concern themselves with their own lineage, with their own reparations packets, if that's what you want to do. But our reparations package should not be any concern to you, because you're going to do more harm than you're going to do any assets to it. Because when you talk about HR 40, they're ops, they're no good. When you start talking about the Democratic Party, they're no good. In Cobra, hell no. They're definitely no good. So it would be best as a Black American that you basically stay out of our lineage business.
Okay, but you have the African Union that support
Can I
reparations
please
also.
ask him something?
Hold on. Let me say this with all disrespect. The fact that you even fix your mouth to even come to us and ask us about a reparations, and then when we're telling you something isn't reparations, you want to sit here and go back and forth with us about this. And I don't know how long you've been listening, but I said this earlier. We're not here to go back and forth with you. It is what it is. Our reparations is not dependent upon who you think actually has reparations bill. It's what we say the reparations is. So,
but y'all support the Republicans.
Calm down, Slick, before I hit you with the banana relief. I'm gonna tell you right now.
Don't let the coconuts get up on top of you. Calm down,
I'm gonna
man.
tell you right now. Let me finish what I have to say, because it's
Go ahead, King. You don't gotta be disrespectful. I ain't calling you out your name.
No, because you come in disrespectful. You acting as
what
if
did I
we
say
don't-
disrespectful?
Listen to me, and I'm
You
gonna
brought
say
up
this.
some damn HR 40. I'm gonna be quiet.
Exactly. You're bringing up,
but that's a reparation bill.
It's a nothing burger.
Man,
that we've already said.
40 been collecting space that's in the past
Can
40
you tell me
years.
one?
What are you
Can
talking
you
about?
tell me one?
Let me ask you
one
a question.
Republican that support.
Shut up for a minute. What did
Nigga,
you
you
want about
shut up. Who the fuck you talking to?
Check his mic.
First off, hold on for a second, Bob Marley. Okay, listen, when my brother's talking and he's speaking on FBA business, you go ahead and you stay quiet. Okay, that's the rules around here. This is the way the game goes. All right, brother? And you're out of your Democratic shield, and you're a tethercrat. That's what you are, brother. I warned everybody about these tethercrats, okay? These are tethercrats. And brother, you can barely talk, by the way, okay? You can barely talk. You need to take some of that jerk chicken out your mouth and enunciate and speak, okay? Because we was coming on some real business time, and then you came in here on real tether time, homeboy. So you're not scaring nobody neither, okay? You need to sit down. You need to go praise the Queen of England, okay? Because I'm sure she's floating around there, her soul, and y'all probably still giving up y'all stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and toss this to my brothers in the building. Church, and then EJ. And if you want to stay for this roasting, I'm warning you, tethers don't last long. But if you can go ahead and take this FBA heat, you can stay and get that G check, because it's coming regardless. Go ahead, Church.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna be very quick with this. I'm glad, because it's just disrespectful that you come in here with this disingenuous nonsense. And when I said for you to even bring up HR 40, it is because anybody who's been listening, we've been out in the street stomping, saying that that's a nothing burger. That's the reason why we had the whole reparations task force out in California to show, and the whole reason why we tripped out when they crashed the damn bill. because that bill was actually substantive. So when you come to us and try to bring us some of those Democratic talking points, we know that you're a shield. We know why you were here. So by you saying I didn't disrespect, no, you definitely did, because you must have been listening to the space for a while now, and you heard us talk about, so by bringing that up is a disrespect. That's one. And two, and I'm gonna laugh after this, you should not care about anything that's going on with foundational Black Americans. You should be going back over there to Jamaica and getting those Chinese folk out of your damn country. Y'all got beaches out there that y'all can't set foot on. You got restaurants out there you can't go to. You got people out there treating y'all as if it's not your country. So you don't need to be concerned with FBA business. You need to be going home and handling yours. I'll land right there.
That's the G check I'm talking about. Let me get my sister Nikki while she's in here, and then I'm gonna give it to EJ. Go ahead, Nikki.
Salute, my sister.
Peace. I just have a little quick question. I'm trying to ask Revenue, what made you feel so comfortable coming up here and kind of changing the subject and talking about what you wanted to talk to and talking down on us about reparations? What made you feel so comfortable doing that?
Actually, I tapped in because I thought the topic was about Black fatigue, and I was talking about reparations and scrutinize the Democrats. So I was wondering, do the Republicans have a bill for reparation, or do Donald Trump support the idea of reparation for Black Americans?
Because that's not what you came up here saying. You were big up in the Democratic Party, like they invented the idea of reparations or something.
I never said that. I just asked.
Energy you were on when you came up here.
I never said that. I just asked the idea: Does Trump support reparation, or do the Republican Party have a bill like
No, you're being disingenuous, family. Everybody heard you say that Donald Trump gave reparations to a January 6er. He's fronting, Nikki, and I know you caught it, sister. Go ahead.
No, I was just trying to ask him why he felt so comfortable coming up here talking about that. You already covered everything that I was covering. I was just sitting up here laughing with y'all. But yeah, he just came up here being completely disrespectful, talking about some HR 40. And see, we are so codified that we already know that that's off code. The second something comes out of one of their mouths, we all thinking the same thing at the same time. We all been on this for years. And so when somebody come up here talking about some HR 40 or some CARICOM mess, we know that he came here to derail the conversation. Now he's being disingenuous. But, let him stay up here and talk his shit, let him get roasted. Is Eric still up here? If Eric's still up here, let him go next. Let Eric get up.
I ain't gonna roast. I just wanted to ask him about CARICOM and what all these Caribbean nations doing about, y'all reparations claim, instead of just, bowing down to the Queen of England for 12 days and mourning her. Well, you should be uplifting, your Jamaican revolutionaries who was out here trying to make the country better again. But I don't know, man. It just goes to show you that some of these people aren't in control of their destiny, let alone their politics, let alone trying to get the Chinese and these other people out of their countries. I done seen these other, I don't even know where the hell you come from, but dude, you don't even got no profile picture. You already suspect. You're America's most wanted. But besides that, I just wanted to ask you a question about, what's going on with y'all reparations claim, and what is the British Empire doing about trying to give y'all reparations? Because, a lot of these Caribbean countries are still under the British Commonwealth. I just want to see, where's your support for your Jamaican brethren back on the island?
Actually, Nkroba, CARICOM, and the African Union is actually working on. They have dedicated the whole 2025 to reparation for the Black diaspora. So they're working in conjunction with the African Union at the United Nations for reparations for Black Americans, the Caribbean, and Africa. So that's the
and
current.
You really believe that?
Scam.
You really
do? I really believe that? That's
really believe
it's documented.
That's
I don't have to believe it. It's a fact.
Okay, let me.
I don't have to believe it.
Hold on. Let me to you, sir. And Cobra has been working on reparations for Black Americans, so they say, for decades now. Why haven't they got it passed?
Well, of course, the Republicans going to block it. That's why I asked the Republicans.
That's the problem with you guys, because you are a Democratic shield. You believe.
I told you I'm not a Democrat.
No, listen to me. You are a Democratic shield. You believe.
How you going to tell me something I'm not?
I just said, listen to me. You are a Democratic shield. You will say and believe whatever they tell you to say and believe. And you think that it's just been Republicans blocking it the whole time, even though the Democrats over the last 5 years, have come out and said it verbatim that they do not support reparations for foundational Black Americans. So everything that you're sitting here talking is a bunch of ninny nonsense. And I'm going to tell you this as well. You say you came in because you thought we was talking about the topic of Black fatigue. Okay, that's fine and well and dandy. You had a question about it? No, you didn't. As soon as you got up here, you started talking about reparations or whether or not Donald Trump supported it and all this other stuff. Regardless of the fact of whether or not the Democrats support it, you're sitting here literally trying to convince us that these are the only people that's been pushing any type of policy, but yet these same people came out and said it out their own damn mouths that they don't support the policy in which we're pushing. So what you're doing is totally being disingenuous, and we don't rock with that nonsense.
Okay, brother, does the Republicans support reparations? Do they have a plan for reparations?
Why are you asking the same question over and over? They have
Because nobody answered the question.
You want me to answer the question? Here's the question. It doesn't matter. We didn't support the Republicans for the past 60 damn years. We didn't give our funding to these people to be our so-called representatives for the past 60 damn years. And they didn't take our votes for the past 60 damn years and give all the resources to everybody else. The Democratic Party owes us reparations more than anything. The country owes us reparations. But if you want to talk about party-wise, you can't sit here and talk to me about the goddamn Republicans when the Democratic Party was sitting here literally giving away our reparations to everybody else. You're one of those type of people that will sit here and talk about, well, you know, Trump just brought in 50 people from South African apartheid and y'all ain't got nothing to say. Y'all didn't have nothing to say when Biden cracked open the goddamn border and flooded the goddamn country with all these illegals and gave them funding and everything else. So miss me with all this, how the Republicans did this, how the Republicans did that. We don't have any faith in the Democratic Party. We've seen the Democratic Party past 60 years. So please, miss us with the nonsense.
Let me add this as well. Actually, the Republican in California did pick up the reparations bill when the Black Democrats the bill. So let's go ahead and put that on the table. Remember, the Black Caucus in California purposely destroyed the reparations bill less than a year ago. Now, I don't know if your tether memory can compute that, homeboy, but this is what actually happened. They ended up destroying a bill that they put forth on purpose, and a Republican picked it up, and he started to push it. Are you aware of that?
Not at all. Maybe if you could put the link or source in the chat that I.
No. I'm not here
man,
to teach.
You better go Google search that, man. We ain't doing that work for you.
Yeah, I don't know if they got the Google out there. I heard the Chinese got it, brother. But in terms of reparations, the Democratic Party are out here doing nothing for Black Americans. In terms of an anti-Black American hate crime bill, they're doing nothing for Black Americans. In terms of simple policies, they're doing nothing for Black Americans. And it's clear that you're a tethercrat because everybody you just named are all opposition to Black Americans. And you thought you was going to come in here with that little sneaky opposition where you sort of kind of play friend and then you throw out all these terms that are anti-us. That isn't going to work. In Cobra, hell, we ran them out of Atlanta. In Cobra know better than to deal with Black Alpha. They know what time it is. And then the Democrats, well, we ruined their plantation came election day. So I don't really know where you're going to go. Maybe you're going to go back to Jamaica. Sound like you got a New York accent. So I'm not sure where you're at right now currently. But wherever you are, you bring in that tethercrat energy. And clearly my brothers and sisters in the space ain't going for it. So no, we're not here to teach you. Just as quick as you hopped your on this stage and you had all of these assertions about what Trump's doing, you need to have that same energy and an understanding that the Democrats ain't did nothing for us and Republicans in California picked up the reparations bill in the process. That's the bottom line. Now, EJ, go ahead, family.
Oh yeah, I just wanted to piggyback on something he said about HR 40 and trying to make that mean something. HR 40 has been depleted and blown up just like the Star from Star Wars for the longest time. Let's just keep it $1.50. HR 40, I couldn't even wipe my ass with it, let alone use it as toilet tissue to blow my damn nose. So let's just keep it real and official, just like a pimp with his hoe on the track. See, we're gonna have to keep regulating these people that don't really understand nothing about our history, let alone our lineage. It's okay, like if you're on code and you want to be a brother and a sister on the side, making sure that you play your position. But when you come in here with asinine talking points and just trying to bring up stuff that's not really benefiting the Black American community, everybody knows in here who's smarter than a fifth grader, because we know some of these people that are currently on stage. I ain't gonna say no names, but some of y'all can't read a Dr. Seuss book, let alone just have a good constructive conversation, let alone read a whole sentence without you stuttering. This just goes to show you that certain things should be separated and segregated when it comes to certain topics like this. Like, I could see if you came in here and you was trying to just drop some jewels and just be on code as a Jamaican, but you just came in here just like a lot of tethers. They just scurry around and just try to just get into they just try to get into a hole and just try to just listen and just get information. Then they want to come up and just give asinine talking points to just give information or just babble. But the days of babbling in these Twitter spaces,
Not at all, brother. I just heard y'all laying back on the Democrats, so I was just wondering, do the Republicans support reparation? It wasn't nothing I wasn't coming with no malice or nothing. And yeah, I live in New York, and I'm also an American citizen.
Why are you worrying about does the Republicans support reparations? You should be worried about whether your party support reparations. That's it. That's all. There's really nothing else to say on that. You going back to the same talking points ain't going to do nothing, because to be honest with you, there's really nothing else to say to you on this notion. So if you had any last words, I suggest you get them out. And it better not be, I was just wondering if the Republicans support reparations.
Not at all, King. I support.
I don't have you muted, brother. It's on you.
I said not at all. I was just tuning into the show, and I just heard y'all laying back on the Democrats, so I was just wondering that. But all in all, I support Black Americans on their fight for reparations and gain equality in America. I think they deserve it. And that was just the gist of my synopsis or what I wanted to say.
All right, brother.
Okay, hold on for a minute. Hold on. I got my brother Kool Keezy in here. My brother Kool Keezy want to chime in. Go ahead, Kool Keezy.
Peace to everybody. Yeah, hey man, that was disingenuous. I was sitting there listening to y'all jam this dude up, and we already what you don't understand, my brother, is we've been through this, millions of times already. We didn't say nothing about no Republicans. You came in here talking about Republicans. We sitting here talking about supremacists, and you came over here. So if one supremacist don't act right, you gonna ask us, so what about the other supremacists? If they gonna do it? We ain't got no time for no supremacists. We told you we voted for the couch. We voted for the couch. We didn't vote for Trump. We voted for the couch, sir, and anybody that wants to get our vote, they got to come with cash payments, not HR 40. You say HR 40, well then we getting ready to get on your hat. You out the paint, buddy, because that's a con game. We didn't ask for a study. We need cash payments. I can't pay my bills with a study. I can't open up a business with a study. I can't do nothing with a study. So yeah, man, we caught your ass. You got wrapped up. And thanks for your little kind words, but it is what it is. That's all I got, y'all.
Respect. That's my brother right there. Shout out to my brother Kool Keezy. Let me see. I want to get some of the new speakers who got their hands up. Okay, Killmonger.
Yeah, I'm friends with Yvette Carnell and Antonio Moore at ADOS, and I think we need to restructure.
Wait a minute, wait, hey, where?
Man, we already know who you is.
Family, what village are you from? What village are you from, homie?
He's from the coca fields of the Dominican Republic. That's where he's from, Black Alpha. He always coming up on Tariq space.
No, I'm not.
We already know who you is. We already know who you is. Stop lying.
It's not me. It's not me. But listen, I think we need to restructure.
If it's not you, why you say it's not me? What are you talking about?
Don't make me.
I'm letting you know somebody different. That's why. Oh no, but I think we need to restructure the Democratic Party because I
think you need to stop snorting your grandmother's Goya powder and just going on about your business. That's why.
I'm talking about our reparations because I think we need to restructure.
You ain't qualified for reparations.
Our reparations. Yo, you better hit rewind on that tether, man. Your ass ain't nowhere near from here. Your voice is from the Congo. Your hairline is from Nigeria. You need to take that all the way back, homie. Hell no. No. Go ahead. Now, I'm going to give you an opportunity to tell us where you really from because you're talking. You still ain't told us where you're from. Okay? There is a plan that when we talk, everybody got to tell us where they from. So tell us where you from before you start skipping everything. Go ahead. I'm gonna give you one opportunity. You say something other than I'm dropping your ass, bro. Where are you from? I want the village. I want the water well. I want the zebra, and I want the goddamn rhino. Where you from? No, don't. You ain't muted. Don't play that. I'm on mute. Nah, brother. Where you from?
I'm from the Bronx.
Oh,
You
you ain't
stepping
from.
on coca leaves. Stop lying, man. Don't BS want to let you come up there talking that
Ain't a lot
stupid.
of tethers? Ain't a lot of
No,
tethers out in
seriously,
the
I'm from
Bronx
the
though?
Bronx. Both sides of
Ain't a lot of tethers in the Bronx, Black Alpha in church? Aren't
Yeah,
there a lot of
You're
tethers
absolutely
out
right.
there?
And, hey, and he was about to say
absolutely.
both sides of his family is from the Bronx. Now, y'all know when we say both sides of our family, we going back to what? The South.
The South.
This man just trying to say both sides of his family is from the Bronx. Man, you need to get
no,
your
no, no.
temper
My
game up.
grandmother, my grandmother, she's from Lower East Side. When she, everybody settled there first.
The Lower East Side of Jamaica.
It
She ain't
sounds like
from the Lower
you
East Side
got
of nothing.
some Puerto
He
Rican
has an
in you.
accent.
Are
Black
you
Alpha.
Puerto Rican, my friend?
What accent you picking up on, Nikki?
It sounds Caribbean to me.
That dude's
Mm.
a first ballot Dominican Hall of Famer. We already know where he's
I'm
from.
not Dominican. We go through this every time I come in here. I
Oh,
love
there we
that
Dominican.
go.
sounds
Oh, hell
Latino.
no.
Okay.
There we go. We got Dominican somewhere up in
Sammy
there.
Sosa, if you don't put the cake soap down, Sammy Sosa, you better get the hell up. Sam, you know what? We're going to do a lot of things, but Sammy Sosa is not going to sit here and talk that talk. Sammy Sosa, tell us where you really from, Sammy. I gave you the opportunity. All right, come on, Sammy. I know that you guys got the cake soap. You're doing backstrokes and cake soap. Where are you really from?
My father, he's a FBA lineage. He comes from Sanford, Florida.
Shut the up. Your daddy ain't no.
You better
No,
stop
I'm
fighting.
serious.
You better stop fighting. Send you back to the coca field so you be stepping
He
on them
said
leaves, boy. Stop it.
FBA Caribbean. You take FBA out of your mouth.
This the
Trick.
same that be
Never do
calling up
that.
on Tyreek Spaces.
Disrespectful ass Tabby.
He ain't finessing nobody. Same
I'm
dude.
FBA. No, seriously. I'm serious. You guys don't believe me,
Oh,
but you could
sorry.
be two
You
things
are
at once. Get
fucking.
back to the topic of reparations, because that's the
No, you ain't guiding this, homie. I'm telling you where to go. I'm the goddamn host, okay? You are fleeing Bariqua. So you got the F and the B correct. Okay, so be quiet. And you and Fat Joe can go on back to South America. I'm gonna call ICE. Somebody who got the damn ICE number. Okay, this man is nowhere near. Tom Holman about to get on there. Somebody tag Tom Holman. I need to get Tom Holman in the space. We got a mission that we can send this man home. We got a target accomplished, and this man got to go. You get the hell on out of here, homeboy. We ain't got time for none of that. And by the way, shout out to y'all, because y'all just ran that dude completely out of here. And then he started doing that goddamn cake soap, man. That's Sammy Sosa. Yeah, that's Sammy Sosa. All right, what's your name? Is it Greer, Gerre? You was putting thumbs down. Go ahead.
Jareer, it's on you, man. Pop your mic.
Y'all gotta forgive some of these people. They gotta load them up and blow on them like Sega Genesis cartridges.
I thought he said no FBS can talk about this. I'm not FBA, so he called my name for whatever
Man,
reason.
say what the hell you want to say and quit babbling. Now, what you want to say?
Well, I was just listening. Okay, listen. I hope you. I hope you guys don't.
Speak English. Talk, all right? I don't do tetherbonics. Speak.
Let me fix my Korean.
Man, if you don't use Google Translator, man, so we can understand you, come on, man. Black Alpha really trying to give you a chance.
Listen. Okay, you're acting worse than the super.
Goodbye.
Hold the hell up. You ain't gonna come in here calling our good brother when you are up in here struggling to get the word out of your mouth. You better go back to square one before you start that nonsense. Let's try this again. One more time. What do you have to say? Unmute.
You
His
admit,
power must have came out. They
admit.
must have had an outage or something.
Listen. You got to be respectful. Every time you open your mouth, you tell the world who you are, not the other way around. You see, every time
we open our mouth, everything we do shows the world who we are, that's what made us the face of the Black people around the world globally. Everything we do, including helping each and every one of you. And now, since you can't get onto the coattails that we provide any longer, now all of a sudden we're looked at as bad people? No, we're the most predominant group around this world. Not just Black group. We're the most predominant group around this world. So whatever we say, whatever comes out of our mouth is going to be certified. It's going to be all the way turned up to 100 because y'all can't turn it down. And that's why y'all come into our spaces. We don't go into yours. When y'all over there talking about what bush meat you want to catch for dinner tonight, we don't have no problem with that. We stay out of your way. But you want to come over here and jump into a bunch of business that isn't yours. So don't say to us, when we open our mouth, we show the world who we are. We showed the world who we were since the inception of this goddamn country, sir. When we built it from scratch with our bare hands, our bones, our soil runs deep here. So while you're running your mouth, maybe you should run back to your country, because I'm pretty sure you're not there, are you? Are you in your country? Where are you at?
You see, you have to shut down the mic. You're shouting.
Where are you at? Where are you at? Where are you located? Are you in America?
Isn't that name Jareer a
I'm in
derogatory
Minnesota
name they
right
try to
now, but
say?
if you're
Go ahead, Nikki. Go ahead.
Saying he's not funny at all.
You step your tethering game up. Y'all notice how bad Nikki, sister, Nikki.
Yes, sir.
Didn't
Yes, sir.
you not run tethers out of spaces, what, 3, 4, 5 years ago, didn't we?
Oh yeah, hell yeah, we go way back. He used to, oh my God, he used to have these spaces where he used to do these debates. Black Alpha had the only debate. He started out all of the debate spaces. He would debate anybody, tethers. He's the one who started debating tethers on Twitter Spaces, and he had the best spaces ever.
Sister, how bad have they fallen off? Weren't the tethers a little better? Weren't they better tethers 3, 4 years ago? How bad have we made them?
Well, their feelings are hurt. I think we hurt their feelings, and then they got a little bit worse.
God damn, terrible. But man, we have seen just the denigration of tethers. I mean, they've fallen off bad. I don't know, Nikki, do you remember that Rungba? Do you remember that dude?
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought that dude. I was just listening to Black Voltron roast him on your page on YouTube. Classic.
Oh yeah, Nikki.
Yeah, you got to go back and listen to all Black Alpha's old stuff. Y'all
Yes,
used
I
to be, it'd
remember.
be a few of y'all in the spaces up virtually. Oh my God, I got to go back and listen to all of y'all old stuff. We used to have so much fun together. So much fun.
Man, we got time, y'all. We got some serious time, some roasting, man. We go back. We was running tethers out of the spaces. We was all this taking tethers down, the tether slaying, it all comes from what we were all putting down back then. We was truly foundational. We was foundational Black Americans and laying the foundation of tether slaying. The reason why these people can't come in our space in last 2 seconds is because what my sister Nikki was doing, I was doing. Shout out to Voltron. We got all them classics. My brother Tariq, they can't stand around us, and they have fell off bad. I remember when tethers could at least speak decent English. Now their English is all broke, shattered. They be scared. Like you said, sister, they feelings is hurt. Are they having tether temper tantrums, sister? Is that what that is?
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Because they can't pretend. There's a lot of people in our mix, and they've been coming in our circles, starting beefs with people who are really of the lineage. They come in starting beefs with us. We find out later, oh, they've been lying about their lineage. See, now people checking lineage. So, now we discovering who they are. They can't pretend to be us anymore. So now they bitter that they can't just walk around and just try to go around starting stuff and breaking us up as a family. They can't do that no more.
Every time you open your mouth, you show the world who you are. Man, you don't get that out of here.
And that's why every time he opened his mouth, we definitely see who he is. Get on somewhere.
Hey, Miriam, they everything except for lotion users. They everything except for lotion users. They can't find that. Y'all, I think right there, we just seen the first RIB for tethers. I think they rested in bushmeat. Easy work. Patty Cakes, it's on you. Let's get to the new speakers. Go ahead.
Hey, shout out to you, Black Alpha, your co-host, Church of Black Power, family in the building, and the others. I don't know why they come in here. I have no idea why they come in here. But I just had a question. Is there a such thing as tether fatigue?
Please do.
I can answer that. Yeah, tether fatigue. Tether fatigue is when tethers are tired from fleeing. Okay, because they run all day. Tethers can't read. They can't write. Like our sister Miriam was just eloquently putting down. They can't use lotion either. So tether fatigue is when they hopped over all the borders. They jumped over all the borders. They crossed all of the fences. They swam across all the lakes, through all the deserts, jumped over all the rattlesnakes and the scorpions, and then they get tired. So the tether fatigue isn't really us getting tired because, we don't know who they are. We don't pay any attention to them. We don't even know who they are right now. You know what I'm saying? When you're in front of traffic, you don't look behind you, and they're so far behind, we can't really see them. So tether fatigue is when you're walking down the street and you might see somebody crash out, they fall out or whatever, and they just can't go no more. When you see hitchhikers and stuff, that's pretty much what tether fatigue is. They just tired right now. They can't run anymore. They can't jump anymore. They can't hop anymore. And they're going to get to the point, quite frankly, where they just can't flee anymore. And y'all know what happens when a flea can't flee, all right? When the flea can't flee, then their asses got to stay exactly where they are back in their homeland, and they hate that much. So that's tether fatigue, my good sister, is when the tethers can't run anymore. They just done tire themselves out, and America don't want them. Like my sister said, England don't want them. Germany don't want them. Mexico don't want them. Just nobody wants them. It's like the land of the misfit toys, okay? Nobody wants to be around a tether. So that's what it is, tether fatigue. They crashing out, they falling out, and they just quite frankly very tired right now. So they're going to go take a tether nap. I hope that answered your question, my good sister.
Yes, it did. I wish they would run away from our spaces. I wish they would go away. I don't understand why they can't have their own spaces. I mean, we ain't coming up in there, but why y'all can't have y'all own? Why y'all in here trying to talk to us? Debate. There is nothing to talk about. We are codified. We know who we are. We know who our ancestors are. We know where we come from. We know all of this. There's nothing that you can say that could convince us. No Democratic nothing. No Republican nothing. Because we are all about our people. So understand that this goes out to the others. Thank you so much for letting me speak. Y'all have a wonderful night.
Much respect.